Sectarian clashes erupted in Suwaida, southern Syria, leaving nearly 600 people dead. The conflict between the Druze and Bedouin communities escalated violently, triggering Israeli airstrikes, a withdrawal of Syrian government forces, and strong statements from both Prime Minister Netanyahu and Syria's interim president.
A monitoring group has reported that the wave of religion-based violence occurring in southern Syria has claimed the lives of 594 people. According to a report from the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, SOHR, a UK-based organization, the situation in Suwaida province has descended into chaos since Sunday, with numerous brutal killings taking place. In a statement released on Thursday evening, SOHR said that among the dead were 300 members of the Druze religious minority, including 146 fighters and 154 civilians, 83 of whom were summarily executed by government forces. The report added that at least 257 Syrian government personnel had died, along with 18 fighters from the Bedouin community, while 3 Bedouin civilians were killed by Druze fighters. The cause of the outbreak is believed to be intense tensions between the Bedouin and Druze communities in the region. In the same context, another 15 Syrian government personnel were reportedly killed in airstrikes conducted by Israel. The Israeli side claimed that the attacks were aimed at protecting the Druze community and pressuring Syrian government forces to withdraw from Suwaida. SOHR's figures have not yet been independently verified. However, some other security sources estimated the death toll at around 300, while the Syrian Network for Human Rights, another monitoring group, said they had confirmed the deaths of at least 169 civilians. On Thursday, the situation in Suwaida was largely calm after government forces withdrew from the city, which is predominantly inhabited by the Druze community. Local residents reported scenes of devastation and looting, with many bodies found scattered across the streets. On Monday, convoys carrying government armed forces, led by Syrian Muslim commanders, entered the city in an attempt to restore order following violent clashes between the Druze and Bedouin. However, the situation quickly escalated, leading to deep divisions within the Druze community in Syria, a sect of Shia Islam with distinct beliefs and identity. Before the withdrawal on Wednesday night, the Syrian government had declared a ceasefire. However, a prominent Druze leader, Sheikh Hikmat al-Hajri, publicly rejected the ceasefire and called for continued fighting until our province is completely liberated from the gangs, referring to government forces. Sheikh Hajri, whose followers are leading many of the attacks against government forces, has made efforts to establish closer ties with Israel. Meanwhile, other factions within the Druze community in Suwaida have chosen to cooperate closely with Syria's newly established Islamic-led government. Outside of Syria, the Druze community also has a significant presence in Israel and the occupied Golan Heights. On Thursday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu affirmed that his government would continue to impose its interests on Syria by force. Netanyahu emphasized that Israel's military intervention aims both to protect the Druze and to prevent Syrian government forces from re-establishing a presence in the country's south. The Israeli Prime Minister stated, "This will also be our policy going forward. We will not allow Syrian military forces to enter the southern region of Damascus, and we will not permit any action that harms the Druze." On Wednesday, Israeli airstrikes inflicted heavy damage on Syria's Ministry of Defense in Damascus and extended attacks to areas near the presidential palace, marking a new escalation in Israel's military campaign against its neighbor since the fall of Bashar al-Assad in December last year. Interim Syrian President Ahmed al-Shara, in a televised address on Wednesday evening, condemned Israel's actions as an attempt to destabilize the country. He declared, "We are in the midst of a battle to defend the unity of the country, the dignity of the people, and the resilient strength of the nation." The Israeli entity, which has continuously targeted our stability and sown discord since the fall of the previous regime, now seeks to turn our sacred land into an endless arena of chaos. Addressing the Druze community in Syria, he emphasized, "We affirm that protecting your rights and freedoms is one of our highest priorities. We reject any effort, whether domestic or foreign, to sow division."